Hello, everybody, and good evening. I am Sean. I'm once again joined by Barlow. How are you doing today, Barlow?
I'm doing awesome.
So today, this weekend, we went to Origins.
Yes.
And so we're going to just talk about a little brief thing about Origins. So it's back to its normal time slot, right? It's usually the first weekend or the second weekend of June.
It's usually the weekend of Father's Day, and this year it's a week early.
It's a week early.
Yeah, or maybe Father's Day is a week late.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's in June usually.
Yep. Yes, it is. It's always in June.
And it's in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
And that's local for us.
Yes, it is.
So we went down there for the weekend and looked around. And if you've seen the other video, we made another video last year. We loved Origins last year.
Oh, and found some really cool stuff.
Had a
great time because there was a lot of cool people to see down there. It was smaller because, it was just the first one out of the pandemic period, the first one they'd had since the pandemic, and it was much smaller and more, I felt more intimate, kind of event. It was great. It was really good.
Okay. So this year, what'd you think?
It's expanded, and it is bigger in size to like what it
was.
More
exhibitors.
Yes, more exhibitors. So it's if you've been to Origins before and you went last year, you're like, oh, it's much smaller. It's back to that normal size. Now, the game halls, they used to be separated out and you went through. Now they're all, they have all the exhibit halls together as one. So you've got gaming halls separated by, just basically railings that get you into the exhibit hall. The one thing that I really like this year is that the game hall where you could get games out, the game library is free.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was a big bonus this year,
because
right?
you used to have to pay for it,
I think
and
it was $20 last year per person, I believe, for the game library. Yeah.
Exactly. To put that add on to your ticket was $20. So this is free for everybody. Now, the actual price is a little more expensive, so your ticket is more expensive this year. But
it was $45
for a single day.
And then I think $95 for the full weekend, Wednesday through Sunday.
Yes. So and last year I think it was $80. So 80 plus the 20 would have been $100. So it's a little cheaper if you always got that.
Yeah. If you play games, it was definitely better this year because it was free.
Absolutely.
Game library if you play the game.
I thought there were. I think maybe, I don't know if there were fewer people or if it was more spread out, but it felt more open like last year,
it did.
Which was comfortable.
Yeah. And they changed the layout of the exhibitor hall, right?
Yes,
It went horizontal instead of vertical.
They went back to the way they were before.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was great. I thought they had plenty of games up and available for events to register for. There was a lot of that this year, and it's only been Thursday and Friday so far. Well, Wednesday was also open, but that was just for events. The Exhibitor Hall wasn't open.
Yeah.
I felt like there were a lot of notably missing vendors.
Yes.
That was my biggest takeaway.
There was a lot. Yeah, that takeaway for me, and we'll get into that here in a second. I also thought there was a lot of video game.
Oh, well, so that's actually because they combined Origins with another event called GDEX. So that's actually, and they did that last year too. They just had a smaller piece of it, and they've been doing that for the past few years. So that's why all the video game stuff.
So there's a game developer conference thing or whatever there. Okay.
Yes.
I was wondering because there was like a whole aisle, and I'm like, these are like a lot of video games, developers and stuff here. Okay.
GDEX, I think, is the Game Developer Expo.
So explain that, yeah.
So that's why you see that.
But as a thing about the exhibitors, there seemed to be a lot. Now, Asmodee came, but they were literally just clearancing out their warehouse. It was like, here's this section of stuff you can't get anymore, and it's up to 90% off. Like, that was literally their booth.
And on Thursday, the booth was packed with stuff. And on Friday, by the end of Friday, it was, they had sold 75% of everything in that booth.
Tell them what you got.
I don't want to.
That's good.
Yeah. So I used to play Star Wars Destiny quite a bit, and I stopped playing it, and I sold all of my dice and stuff, and but now they had it for really cheap. And,
we're back in it, boys.
I'm back in. I bought a bunch of boxes and cracked a bunch of packs, and I've built some more decks just to play again.
So
but now I have a limited run of cards because it's totally out of print now.
That's what I was saying. You're going to have to go find these cards to fill in these decks you did have at one point and got rid of.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it again. I've learned my lesson.
Find these special cards that
Why do I love games that die? Why do I love dead games?
Well, it does say Star Wars on it, right? So Star Wars and Lord of the Rings is just
true.
Gotcha.
The Star Wars trading card game, by the way, from Wizards of the Coast back in 2002 when that one came out, That is one of my favorite card games ever, and it is so dead, and I love it. You see me and Mark playing it all the time.
All the time.
We love it. We just love it. It's great.
But yeah, no, I'd have to agree. The Exhibitor Hall just seemed like it was bigger than last year, but it just seemed like it was missing a lot of like major people you would recognize.
Some of my favorite vendors. I mean, Armor Class 10 wasn't there. I love them. And, Troll and Toad wasn't there. They're usually there.
Yeah, the Toledo
guy, the Bits guy.
Bits
yeah,
guy,
the Bits
he
guy.
wasn't there.
We miss you. We want you to come back to Columbus. We like you, and we want to have you back. Please come back, Bits guy. And then, there's a lot of things. It just felt like it wasn't quite as big. Still, I think I think all the volunteers and everybody that's working there is doing a great job. They're making it a very comfortable, very fun environment.
It's very well ran in that regard.
Yeah.
There's someone all over the place wearing shirts. A Gamma or whatever. With origin shirts on, they can help you.
Well, and I tell you, I think that the lines and everything this year were really easy. It was well organized, getting your badge, getting your stuff.
Oh, the print your own badge thing they did with the scan, and then that was really good.
Really nice. They did that well.
I think it was just I don't know, and I think maybe too, because remember last year was in September,
and we got a little spoiled.
So but it was. Yeah. So it hasn't been a full year.
That's right. It has not been a full year.
Because it was September to June instead of June to June.
That's right.
So maybe that seemed to be a thing. But I will say, we did play some games.
Yes, we did.
And I found a game that I am in absolute love with. And I know people are going to look at this and comment and be like, this game is a decade old or whatever, right?
It's been around.
It's been around.
It's been around.
Or whatever. But I have discovered Lords of Waterdeep, the board game. And if you have not played this game, it is awesome. And I don't like the usual European resource game. I usually don't like that, but I love this game.
Well, I think a lot of people. This is exactly me. By the way, I knew this game was out. I saw it. I looked at the back of it and said, "Oh, this looks like a lot of heavy lifting. It's not something that I'd be able to play." It looked intimidating just because of all the parts and pieces and stuff. Until I had somebody show it to me and realized how simple and easy it is.
Yeah.
And quick playing, intuitive, easy to learn, easy to play, fast playing. It plays fast. Just a super great game, and it really feels like the intrigue of Waterdeep in Faerun.
It is. So, it's a great game. If you've never heard of it and you enjoy that resource kind of game, check it out. It's really good. Yeah. But I figured I'd share that because I discovered it at Origins. So that's another reason to go to these cons, because there might be games that are really old that you just don't. And I work at a game store. Right. And had no idea.
I think you bring up something important. One of the cool things that they do they have at Origins, and there's also at Gen Con and some of the other cons, there's the indie game developers and the indie role-playing game publishers group. So there's 2 or 3 different booths that are independent, conglomerations of independent games. So there's multiple different games by multiple publishers. And the one that I found this year that I wanted to give a call out to was a game called Command Droids. It is absolutely 1980s style Transformers. It is a role-playing game. The book looks like a cover of a gunship album. It's amazing. It's so awesome. The story makes sense. It is. I mean, he even says, "Look, this is the Transformers game, but I can't call it Transformers." Basically, I mean, it's so good. Obviously, they put a little different lore into it and change it. I read it the first night, and I fell in love with it just because it's so. They just do a really nice job of setting the story of, why would a human and a giant robot interact? And when you make a character, you make a human and a giant robot, and it's awesome. Command Droids, you need to check it out.
One of the things too about these types, we're going to go to Gen Con, right? And that's the big one, the Super Bowl of gaming and stuff. But one thing about a more intimate thing like Origins is you get to talk. Actually, they're not pushing you through because there's so many people.
Yes.
Because and also the way Columbus is set up, there's nice restaurants in the immediate area. So you got a demo with you just ran into the creators of some games.
Yeah, the Squadron Dice guys actually. They were there. I saw their booth and I wanted to stop by, and I was doing something else and I didn't get a chance. And we were out at one of the restaurants just checking in and saw those guys there and said, just started talking, and it's great. That is one of the nice things about the Origins event. I think is because everything is so close by. It's Gen Con Indianapolis is a little more spread out. So all the restaurants, you spread out more. So I still think there's plenty of opportunities to network. But At Origins, it's like all right there on one street, and it's just it's fun.
But a
to
lot
run
of
into
those
people.
vendors, exhibitors at not Origins, but at
Gen Con.
Gen Con, man, they gotta grind it, right?
yeah,
Like, because they're gonna talk to 1,000 people in a day.
Yes.
Where here, you get a little more time to talk to the exhibitors and stuff like that.
And they're great at demoing. They give demos
Yeah.
to anybody that comes by.
What was that game
really
you played with the pan?
Oh, the pancake game that I played.
Game? Yeah.
It's the pancake game. It was great. And the bamboo game. There was a bamboo game. Oh, I got to find the name of that bamboo game and tell you because it was pretty funny. The little hammer, you try and knock the bamboo up there without knocking the little pan. It was fun, yeah.
But yeah, so we figured we'd just share. Origins is here. If you're ever in Columbus, Ohio, in the first week of June when it's going on, because back to its normal time slot, normal month. It's definitely worth checking out if you're in the neighborhood, if it's a local trip, and then like I said, it's not as big as Gen Con, but it's a little more intimate and stuff. But yeah,
send us a message if you're going to be there. Stop by and say hi.
We'll stop. We walk around, tell us what we're doing wrong, and
tell us what we need to cover. Tell us what you want us to do.
Yeah,
tell us what you want us to show on video. We'll show something. We'll get more. Lords of Waterdeep.
Lords of Waterdeep. We're going to show a Lords of Waterdeep battle. We should just hook up the camera and just play Lords of Waterdeep.
We should just play Lords of Waterdeep on camera.
You booked it now. Look at that. Battle report, Lords of Waterdeep. Are they called battle reports when you do games like that? They're not battle reports.
We get to start something new.
Something new.
Something
like
new.
it's never been done on the entire history of YouTube.
Board report.
Board report. Barlow's board report. How much alliteration can we put in there?
Board report. That's awesome. That's not boardroom report. It would make it like the boardroom report. Oh, that's awesome. That's
with the bodacious Brian Barlow. Look at that.
Look at this.
I just named it.
The alliteration is fantastic.
All right.
That's great.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you stopping by, and y'all have a wonderful now. We'll see you around. Bye now.